So here un is equal to n square, the transform of n square. So to derive the formula of this one, I'll use one of the property which already we have defined, that is z transform of n power k equals, it is minus z into d by dz of z transform of n power k minus 1. So I'll use this property to derive the z transformation from here onwards. So z transform of k power n power 1, that is n. I'm going to derive only by using basic formula. But from this onwards, I'll use this property. If you use this property, it is easy. See here, I want z transform of n square, no. So just compare here. So the value of k becomes 2. So let us put k is equal to 2 in this. Put k is equal to 2 in this, we get z transform of n square equals, it is minus z into d by dz of z transform of k is 2, 2 minus 1, 1. So it becomes z transform of n, correct? So I'm putting k is equal to 2. Now this is equal to minus z into d by dz of, z transform of n, which already derived in the last class, and the z transform of n formula is, it is z by z minus 1 whole square, correct? So this formula already we have derived in the last class, z transform of n. So if I differentiate this using your u by v quotient rule, I'll get what is the z transform of n square. So it is easy to derive. So from here onwards, for higher degree terms, if you want to find z transformations, n square, n cube and all, I may use this relation. So let us differentiate this. This is equal to, it is minus z into, so use your quotient rule, it is denominator z minus 1 whole square into differentiation of z is 1 minus numerator z into differentiation of denominator z minus 1 whole square, it is 2 into z minus 1 into differentiation of z is 1 divided by denominator z minus 1 whole power 4. This is by using your u by v formula. Now here z minus 1, I can take z minus 1 common. So it is minus z into z minus 1. So here in the numerator we get z minus 1 here, first term, since we have taken one term common. See here this term already we have taken, so you get 2z, minus 2z divided by z minus 1 whole power 4. So that one z minus 1 term gets cancelled, and if you simplify this, it is minus z into, so z minus 2z, it is minus z minus 1 divided by z minus 1 whole cube. So if I send this minus z inside and multiply, we get z transform of n square equals, it is z, I'll write lower degree term first, minus z into this minus 1. So it is plus z, see minus into this minus, plus z into z, z square divided by z minus 1 whole cube. So I'll write like this. So minus z into this minus 1 plus z, minus into this minus, plus z into z, z square. So it is z plus z square by z minus 1 whole cube. So this is the formula for z transform of n square. So this is how we can derive the formula for z transform of n square. See, like this, we can derive the z transform of n cube also. So straight away I'll write the formula. So derivation of n cube is not required, because n square we did. In the same way we can do n cube also. So the z transform of n cube, the formula is the fourth z transform of n cube. The formula is z transform of n cube equals, it is z plus 4z square plus z cube divided by z minus 1 whole power 4. So this is the formula for z transform of n cube. Okay, this is also just, if you want, you can derive like this. You just put n is equal to k in this formula, in this property. So here you get square, Z transform of n square. In the note, Z transform of n square is this. If you substitute and if you differentiate that, we get this formula. So the derivation, if you want, you can do it. It is not required anyway. They will not ask, leave it. In case if they ask, you do this. So this is the Z transformation of n cube. Like this, you can find n power 4 and all. So now I think you have an idea how to find a Z transformation of function. So these are called as standard functions. Z transform of k power n square, n cube. So like this, you can find higher degree terms also. Z transform for higher degree terms. So this is the way of finding. So only for basic functions, I mean for few functions, as I explained how to find the Z transformations. For higher degree terms, you can follow the same thing. So with this, we'll move to the next thing. The next thing is the property of Z transformations. So we have one major property of Z transformation that is called as damping rule. So I'll say what is a damping rule now. Damping rule. So damping rule of Z transformations. See, this damping rule says if Z transform of un equals u bar of z, then the first thing is Z transform of k power n into un is equal to, it is u bar of z by k, z divided by k. Second, Z transform of un divided by k power n equals, it is u bar of k into z. So these two are called as the damping rules or the damping property of Z transformations, right? So that means if I have a function un is the function given to us. If it is multiplied by something like k power n, the Z transformation of that can be written as z by k. I mean, say u bar of z means, you know, it is a Z transformation of un. By leaving this k power n, I can take this un separately and find the Z transformation. The answer can be taken as u bar of z. In that answer, if I put z is equal to z by k, I'll get the answer for this k power n into un. So that means if there is a product, so in the answer of Z transform of un, I can replace z by k, z divided by k. And suppose you are divided by kn, by finding a Z transformation of un, you get u bar of z, and in that u bar of z, you can put z is equal to k into z. I mean, in place of z, you can put kz, so that we get a Z transformation of un divided by kn. So these two are the two important properties which are called as damping rule. So the proof of these two properties is not required, but remember these two properties. By using these two properties, I'm going to rewrite the Z transformation formulae, whatever I have derived. So I know what is the Z transform of n, Z transform of n square, n cube, and all these things. With the help of them, with the help of this damping rule, I'll rewrite this formula. So totally you get these four standard formulae, plus using damping rule, I'll rewrite this formula once again. So there I'll get another 1 or 3 or 4. So totally there will be 8. That 8 I'll make it as a list. That list can be used while solving a problem. That list is called list of standard Z transformation. So I'm going to write that first. List of standard Z transforms. List of standard Z transform I'll write. So this standard Z transformation list includes the formula which we have derived and the formulas we're going to write by using damping rule also. So I'll start from the first one. This list is very important. So this list we're going to use while solving problems from here onwards. The first standard formula is Z transformation of 1, and Z transformation of 1, what is the formula? Z by Z minus 1. Second, Z transform of k power n, this already we have derived. The formula is Z by Z minus k. The third, Z transform of n. So Z transform of n, the formula is Z by Z minus 1. whole square. Fourth, Z transform of this formula already we have derived, Z transform of n. Now Z transform of k power n into n. So Z transform of k power n. See, this n is already derived, k power n is derived. Now k power n into n. See, what we should do, see, Z transform of n we know, k power n into n means I have to apply this. So you have to replace z by z divided by k in z transformation of un. Un means what? N here. So if I put z is equal to z divided by k in this formula, I get z transform of k power n into n. So this is by using damping rule. So directly I'll write the formula. If I put z is equal to z divided by k in this one, I get kz divided by, it is z minus k whole square. Kz divided by z minus k whole square. This is the formula for k power n into n. Remember this guys, very, very important. So this is the z transform of k power n into n. Now similarly, the next fifth one, it is z transform of n square. So z transform of n square formula already we have derived today. First one, the formula is z plus z square divided by, it is z minus 1 whole cube. Right, this is the formula for z transform of n square. Now using damping rule, I'll write one more, that is z transform of k power n into n square. Z transform of k power n into n square. So the formula for k power n into n square is, so you have to put z is equal to z by k in this formula to get the z transformation of this. If I put z is equal to z by k and simplify using this damping rule, we get, it is kz square plus k square z divided by, it is z minus k whole cube. Kz square plus k square z divided by z minus k whole cube. This is the formula for z transform of k power n into n square, standard formula. So you can easily remember like this, z square z decreasing order, but k will be in the increasing order, k square. See, k z square, k square z minus k whole cube. Next, seventh is z transform of n cube. So n cube formula already I have written, it is z plus 4z square plus z cube divided by z minus 1 whole power 4. So this is the formula for z transform of n cube, z plus 4z square plus z cube by z minus 1 whole power 4. We have written here, right, n cube. Without derivation I have written the formula. So for this formula, using damping rule, I'll write what is z transform of k power n into n cube. That is the last one, 8th. Z transform of k power n into n cube. For this, the formula is, see, remember z, you just rewrite this in the reverse order, z cube plus 4z square plus z. K you write in the increasing order, I mean k square here, k cube. So just reverse it like this, z cube, this multiplied by k. So it is kz cube plus next term 4k square z square plus k cube z, like this. Okay, this term if you reverse and if you write k in the increasing order, k square, k cube divided by this z minus k whole power 4. This is the z transform of k power n into n cube. So this is by using damping rule for this 7th formula. So this is how we can write the z transformations of standard function. So this 8 formula, whatever I've written here, are the standard z transformations. So if you know this formula list, you can solve any problem of z transformation using this list. So this is called as a z transformation of standard functions, a very, very important thing, right? Okay, so let us start the problems on z transformations. I'll just write the list of problems and then we'll solve one by one. Okay, so whatever the list I'm going to write now, these are the standard problems on z transformation. So if you solve these problems, it is more than sufficient. So I'm going to write all the problem list and then I'll start problems on Z transforms. Z transforms, problems on Z transforms. So find the Z transform of the following. Find the Z transform of the following. So first one cos n theta, second sin n theta, third k power n into cos n theta, fourth e power minus an sin n theta, 5 is cos h n theta, 6 sin h n theta, 7 n plus 1 whole square plus sin of 3n plus 5, 8 2n plus sin of n pi by 4 plus 1, sorry, n pi by 4 is separate, plus 1 is separate, plus 1, 9 cos h of n pi by 2 plus theta, okay, right guys. So these are the standard problems. If you know these problems, it is more than enough. I'll give one more also, 10th sin h of n pi by 2, enough. See, these 10 problems, if you practice, you can solve any problem in the Z transformations. So one question in the annual examination will come from the basic Z transformation problems. So it will be in the list of a problem like this. It will be a problem in the form of this list. Okay. So, and one more thing is, if you learn one problem, the other problem becomes easier. If you know how to find Z transform of cos, sin becomes easy. So like that. So cos h n theta, sin h n theta is easy. So listen properly. These problems are very important. I'll start with first one. I'll start with first problem, that is Z transform of cos n theta. So I want to find what is the Z transformation of this. Just a minute. Okay. So now, so let us see how to find the Z transformation of cos n theta. So here we know that there is a formula, e power I into n theta is nothing but cos n theta plus I into sin n theta, correct? So this is the formula we know, e power I n theta is cos n theta plus I sin n theta, right? So now I can write e power I n theta as, so I'll just take un is equal to, let us choose like this, let un equals e power I into n theta, and it can be written as e power I theta whole raised to the power of n. So it is e power I theta whole power n. This n I can take it to the power form. Now if I take this e power I theta as k, so I mean put e power I theta is equal to k. So therefore your un becomes k power n, right? And I want to find what is the Z transformation here. So let us take Z transform on both sides. This implies Z transform of un equals, it is Z transform of k power n. So this is equal to, you know the formula, Z transform of k power n. So Z transform of k power n, the formula is, it is Z divided by Z minus k. So this formula I am using. But you know, k stands for e power I theta. If I substitute here, it becomes, this implies it is Z transformation of un in the left hand side. And what is un? It is e power I n theta. It is e power I into n theta equals, it is z divided by z minus k. And what is k? K is e power I theta here, e power I theta. So z transform of e power I n theta is equal to z by z minus k means e power I theta. Now I want to simplify this. This is a function in which e power I theta means what? It is a complex number, cos theta plus I sin theta. And once you have a complex number in the denominator like this, you know, you're going to rationalize it. You'll multiply and divide by the conjugate. See here, the conjugate means it is z, z minus the conjugate of this complex number, e power I theta. What is its conjugate? It is e power minus I theta. So what I'm going to do is, I'll multiply and divide this quantity. Let us multiply and divide this quantity by z minus e power minus I theta like this. Right? So I'll take conjugate of this one and I'll multiply and divide this by z minus e power minus I theta. So that we get this is equal to the numerator. It is z into z minus e power minus I theta divided by the denominator. The denominator, you just multiply the terms here. If I multiply the terms here, see the z into this entire thing, z into z, z square, the denominator I am multiplying, z square, then minus z into e power I theta, minus z into e power I theta, then minus again this minus e power minus I theta into z. It becomes minus this z e power minus I theta, minus z e power minus I theta, then this term minus into this minus, it is plus, plus product of these two, e power I theta into e power I theta into e power minus I theta. Right. So we get this. So when you multiply denominator, in the same way I'll multiply the numerator also. I'll simplify. This is equal to z into z. Multiply these two. Z square minus z e power minus I theta divided by denominator. It is z square. First term z square. See, from the second term and third term, I can take minus z common. If I take minus z common, so this becomes e power I theta plus e power minus I theta. It is e power I theta plus e power minus I theta, right? I'm taking minus z common. So it is e power I theta plus e power minus I theta plus the last term. See here the bases are same. You can add the powers. If I add the powers, this plus I theta minus I theta gets cancelled. So it becomes e power 0. Right. So it becomes e power 0, the last term. Right? Plus I theta minus I theta gets cancelled. Now there is a formula, e power I theta plus e power minus I theta. I have given this formula in the last class itself. This is the formula I have given. E power I theta plus e power minus I theta can be written as 2 cos theta. So this formula already I have given. So in place of this e power I theta plus e power minus I theta, I'll replace this 2 cos theta. So this is equal to okay, so this is z square minus z into, see this term, it is e power minus I theta, and you know e power I theta is cos theta plus I sin theta, e power minus I theta is, it is cos theta minus I into sin theta, cos theta minus I sin theta. This is the value of e power minus I theta. So divided by denominator, it is z square minus z into e power I theta plus e power minus I theta. You know, it can be written as 2 cos theta. So it is 2 cos theta plus e power 0. You know, e power 0 is 1. Right. So we get this. Now here, I'll separate the real and imaginary parts. I'll rewrite this one as, just observe this carefully. This simple z transform of left hand side I'll take. So the left hand side is e power I n theta, and I know e power I n theta is cos theta plus I sin theta. I'll write z transform of cos theta, sorry, cos n theta plus I into sin n theta. Sin n theta is equal to the right hand side, it is z square minus z cos theta, real term, then this term minus z into this, minus of minus plus I into this is z sin theta divided by denominator, it is z square minus 2z cos theta plus 1. Right? So e power I n theta I have substituted from this step. So this one z square minus z cos theta minus into minus plus I z sin theta. Let us separate real and imaginary parts. So if I separate real and imaginary parts, we get z transform of cos n theta plus I into z transform of sin n theta. The left hand side, I'm splitting here, is equal to the right hand side. The right hand side, if I split, the real part here is this one, z square minus z cos theta divided by denominator, that is z square minus 2z cos theta plus 1 plus imaginary part, it is I into z sin theta divided by denominator, it is z square minus 2z cos theta plus 1, right? So the real, it is something like this, a plus b divided by c. So we have written it as a by c plus b by c, real plus imaginary. Now if we equate real part on both sides, equating real parts on both sides, we get. So if I equate the real parts, what is the real part here? You know, z transform of cos n theta is equal to the real part here is this one. So therefore we get, I'll go to the next page. So if I equate real parts, we get z transform of cos n theta. Cos n theta equals, the answer is, it is z square minus z into cos theta divided by denominator, it is z square minus 2z cos theta plus 1. So this is the formula for z transformation of cos n theta. Cos n theta here. So this is how we can derive the formula for z transformation of cos n theta. Now coming to the previous page, so here this is about cos n theta. If I ask in the annual exam, find the z transform of cos n theta, you have to do this. Suppose in the annual exam, if I ask, find the z transform of sin n theta, then what we have to do? So we have to repeat this entire steps starting from here. You just change this cot to sin n theta, and here onwards nothing, no changes. You have to repeat this entire steps, and here in the last line, instead of equating the real parts, you equate the imaginary parts. I mean, I'll write equating the imaginary parts on both sides, we get, so we get the second one, that is z transformation of sin n theta. The formula for this one is, imaginary part is, it is z into sin theta divided by denominator, it is z square minus 2z cos theta plus 1 here, and this is the z transformation of sin n theta, which is required for second problem here. See, second problem is z transform of sin n theta, that we have written. So this is what I told. If you derive one, the z transformation of cos n theta, the other one becomes easy, sin n theta. You have to repeat the entire steps, and you have to change only the last line. Instead of equating real parts, if I equate imaginary part, I mean coefficients of I, the coefficient of I here is z transform of sin n theta, and coefficient of I here is z sin theta by z square minus 2z cos theta plus 1. So if I equate them, we get z transformation of sin n theta, I mean this one. So one if you learn, other one becomes easy. So this is how we can derive the Z transformation of the first two problems here, cos n theta, sin n theta. Very, very important, repeated many times in the annual exam, right? So this is how we can derive. See guys, see in the annual exam, if asked the third problem or fourth problem, Z transformation of k power n cos n theta, e power minus a n sin n theta. If asked these, only these two, then what we should do? So to find the answer for third one, first you find the Z transform of cos n theta. I mean, you have to repeat this entire step here till here. Then I want k power n into cos n theta. No, you have to apply damping rule. According to damping rule, you know, I'll go to previous step. According to damping rule, if have k power n into un, the final answer will be calculated just by putting z is equal to z by k. That means in the derivation of this z transform of cos n theta, you just put z is equal to z by k and simplify, you get the answer for problem number 3. But repeating this entire steps is mandatory. So you're already did. I'll just write the answer for the third one with the repetition. The steps I will not going to rewrite once again. Directly the answer will be written. But remember guys, in the annual exam, you have to repeat the entire thing. Now, the third one. The third one, Z transform of k power n into cos n theta. So if you ask this, what we have to do? So I'll write like this.